Hi everyone, it's Sue. Welcome back. Once again, I'll just say that there is a lot of white noise in the background. It is very hot here again today, so we have air coolers and fans going. Today is Sunday, and Sunday is my only opportunity to record videos, to make videos, so I have to just run with it. So I do apologise if it's too bad you can't hear me talk. I don't know whether the volume's going to help, but yeah, as I said, I've just got to run with it. Anyway, today I am struggling for a little bit of inspiration actually. I'm really tired, so my brain just doesn't want to work. But in the live, on one of my Friday night lives, I was once again struggling for inspiration, and I've got all these beautiful stamps from Lorna Taylor from Tailor Made Journals. I'll pop her details in the description box. And majority of them I have never even used. I had opened the packet and looked at them, but that's about as far as I got. So I decided I'd just stamp them all on Friday night, which is what I've done here. Just kept them fairly neutral in colour. And I just thought today I'm going to have a play just to try and get my creative juices flowing and just make some little journaling cards or something like that to put in journals. I've just got some lace and ribbon and bits and pieces. I'm not really sure where I'm headed with it, but I just thought I'd bring you along and we can just create together. So I've got a cuppa. I know I said it's really hot, but I am really tired, so I need caffeine. So grab yourself a cuppa as well. Now this also grew another idea, and I may do some videos on this, organisational videos. So I decided I've always sewn and been creative in one way or another, but in 1990 I was introduced to rubber stamping, and back then there was no acrylic stamps or anything like that. They were all wood blocked red rubber stamps. So I bought my first wood stamp in 1990, and I never looked back. I can never pass up a good stamp. I have been a little bit more selective with regards to stamps that I purchase now, whether I can get multiple uses out of them. So that's normally how I look at buying stamps. So I have a multitude. I don't even know how many, but so what I've decided is I'm going to try and start cataloguing them. A big task, I know, but I just figure if I have them all in categories in an album, I can go, okay, I've got that, and I know I can look for it. Okay, so I've got these little albums from Uniquely Creative. Now I sell them in my shop and I love them. They're really strong. I have used them for my December daily before. So I've decided I'm going to start cataloguing them in these binders or albums. They have 4 rings, and all I've done is I've just cut some. I'm going to put it all on white background so that the stamps pop out, and I'm going to stamp my stamps on coffee dyed card. And what I've done is I've just put, so these are all Lorna's stamps, so I've just put Tailor Made Journals on the top. That way I can always, if I love the stamps or something, you know, I lose a stamp or a stamp deteriorates or whatever, for whatever reason, I can go back to Tailor Made Journals and see if I can get that stamp again as well. So it's good to know where they come from. So I've just stamped the images twice, and I actually did this yesterday, and I put some of the stamped images, well, all of the stamped images for Lorna's stamps in here. So I do have a bit of space. I know I've got a couple more stamps from Lorna on their way to me. So I'll just sort of fill it up as I go. So they're all Lorna stamps. Because these are hers on the back as well, I haven't worried about putting another label. If I continue the stamps here, I'll put her name there again. So I've just got 3 pages at the moment. So I've started, and my way of thinking is that any new stamps I get, I will stamp out pretty much straight away, and then put them in here, or its corresponding album, and then I will work backwards every now and again. If I'm feeling uninspired, I'll get some stamps out, stamp them, cut them out and put them in its respective album. So yes, I know that's a big task ahead of me, but I like doing that sort of thing, and I just know that it will make me be more productive. Okay, so I just thought, as I said, I will just bring you along. I'm not going to do the Christmas ones today, but I just thought I'd bring you along, and we'll just, I don't know, just distress some of these images up and add a little bit ribbon or lace or something like that, and just have a play basically, and make a few little tucks or pockets or journaling cards. Let's just see where it takes us. So I'm just going to grab a couple and distress around the edges. So this is on coffee dyed card, but I think I will back them with coffee dyed paper as well, and I'll end up sewing around them. That's just what I like to do. So let me just have a look. Let's just start with these few and just see how we go. So I'm just going to, I think I'll just put them onto coffee dyed paper first. Yes, I'll put some on coffee dyed paper, and then I'm just going to sew around them. I'm just thinking, actually, I'll put them on coffee dyed paper first, and then have a look at some lace and that, and then we'll sew around them if that's what I want to do. So I'll just speed the video up while I do that, and I'll be back. Okay, so I also decided to print out some of Lorna's, I think it's called the Eaton's 1955 wallpaper kit. I'll put the link down below for it anyway. I just thought that maybe some of them, these I ended up doing with coffee dyed paper, but I just thought some of these might be nice as the backing, and maybe carrying some of it torn and glued over the front. I'll show you what I mean, but these are only some of the kit. It's quite a large kit, and it's really lovely, and it's got all the texture. You can see all the texture in those, and then in there's a sorry, I can't get my words out, there's an envelope. So I thought what I might even do is just make up the envelope and just put these made cards in them, just so that they've got a place. But yes, this isn't the whole kit. This is just some that I've just quickly chosen and thought that I might use. Love that. So that's just some of them. That's my printer. It's having a little bit of a hissy fit. I really love this yellow. I love them all, but let's just start with this yellow. Let's put them to the side for the moment. This yellow and pink. So I think what I'm going to do, so I'm going to glue this here, and I want to bring some of this paper around to the edge. So I'm going to tear some of it. I'm going to leave quite a liberal border. So I'll just glue that down. And I might even do it all the way around and I'll see what it looks like. I can always cut it off if I don't like it. So what I'm thinking is I'm just going to tear this really randomly, and I'll keep that for collage, and basically just bringing it over to the front is what I was thinking, just something like that. Okay, and I'm going to tear, I might just do two, I don't know, we'll do two sides to start with and see what that looks like. I think I will actually do the 4 sides. So I'm just going to tear the 4 sides and then just fold them over. Okay, just something different. So I might ink the edge of that as well. And I'm just inking around the white parts just because I might actually roll some of the paper as well, so I don't want necessarily all the white showing. Okay, so I'm going to glue that down. So that's, I mean, that's different, but it's quite cute. And then I think I might ink around the outer edge as well. I'm going to go in and try and roll some of that paper. And we've got the backing in that beautiful wallpaper print. Just sort of roughing up the edge there of some of those folded pieces. Okay, so I'll end up sewing around that, but I think I'd even like to put maybe a ruffle or something. I'm just going to put these little pieces that I've torn off in my collage book here. So this is just where all the bits and pieces go, and to make masterboards, and then put them everywhere. And then I can cut these down into tags and everything. So I'm just going to quickly glue those in. what I might do is, actually I'll put that aside and then I'll do the sewing all together. I like how I've done that and just brought the torn edges over to the side, so I might do that on these as well. So I will speed the video up. Actually no, they're the ones that I've done with coffee dye paper. So these I will do this way as well. So I will do that, and then I'll probably go and sew, and then I'll come back and then we'll do a little bit of decorating. So I've sewn around all of those, and while I was at it I cut out the envelope and I sewed around it, and I backed it with one of the Eaton's wallpaper prints. What I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is I might, that side's just a little bit higher. It's probably the way that I've cut or folded it. What I'm thinking is I might just leave that open at the moment. When I'm ready, I can actually just glue down here and seal that up if I want to. At the moment, I'm just going to leave that open and just use it as a storage folder for these. So I might put a paper clip or something on them. I will ink around all of that, and I'll trim all the extra threads off these. Okay, and this is what they are looking like. They're different. I can't say I am loving them. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with them, but is not bad, I guess, for having had no inspiration. So I'm just going to go around the edges there as well. And so yes, as I said, I'm going to go through and turn some of these, roll some of these edges that aren't glued down, just to sort of give it a bit of a more of a vintage textural look. So I'll go through and do that on all of them. So I'm liking them a little bit better now that I've actually just torn away some of that, the paper that was carried over. You can see the difference here. So this one here I glued close to the edge, so I struggled to actually tear back some of the paper. This looks so much nicer, I think, in my opinion. I don't mind that one. On this one needs something, so I've got a little fluffy ruffle here that I sewed out of some fabric, some evening dress fabric. So I might even just add some of that. It's very fluffy. Fluff everywhere. Okay, so I might even just add maybe that just to dress it up a bit. I think it goes that way. So that's just dressed it up a little bit, given it a little bit of an oomph, and then we've just got the beautiful pattern on the back. So that's one. I love how this one looks. So I just went with the blue, just with the you know, the cravat, the man's cravat and what have you. I think for the time being I'm going to just leave that pretty well as it is. So I quite like that one. Okay, this one, same thing, I don't think it really needs too much. It's got that on the back. I really like how that one's looking. Same here with the bees, but I have actually stamped it on the paper crooked. Not that it matters, I don't think. We could even just put a hole in that and put some ribbon or something in there. There we go. I think that's all that one needs. These I've just distressed around and inked. Fluff from that ruffle everywhere. You can even just put a little bit of this paper ribbon along the bottom just to dress it up. Let's just cut some of that. Okay, so we've got those done for the most part. Now this one, excuse me, here, this was the Tiffany & Co stamp, and I ended up just adding a tiny little scrap of this wallpaper here, and I was just thinking for something different we could add maybe an eyelet and then just have that hanging from there. So I will do that as well, if I can get it to hang right. We have just a little dangly tag on a journaling card. So not a bad effort really when I had no inspiration, but thanks to some beautiful stamps and digital prints from Lorna, this is what I've come up with. So just that one. I quite like the look, as I said, with the with it more roughed up. So that's that. Fairly plain. I've just added a little bit of paper lace and a ruffle. That was just one of the coffee dyed ones. Now this one I used a gold pen to go around, and obviously it's like a oil-based ink on the inside, and the oil has leaked into, as the paper has absorbed the oil, but I don't mind the look of that. It makes it look a little bit older. I don't know whether you can actually see the gold. Another very plain one, I've just added a little bit of that ruffle with the gold fleck through it. So these will be beautiful just tucked in pockets. This one, not as much of the yellow came over as I wanted it to, but I've just made that into a little tag and put some gold cotton frizz ribbon in the top. This is a fairly plain one. I might add something to that if I can work out what I want to do with that. I might wait until I get that in a journal. Same with this one, I'll wait until I get this in a journal, and I'll probably add something down here, I think. And then this is the Jane Austen one. So this was the first one, and if I did it over again I wouldn't glue straight to the edge, because I like this look here where I've pulled the paper back more so, but I think they're pretty good. I'm pretty happy with those. And then this is just a little envelope. My way of thinking was I was just going to store them all in here for now. Hopefully that one's not going to fit, so we'll keep that one out. And what we could even do is we could just tie that up with, that looks cute with that sticking out. We could just tie it up with a little bit of lace or a little bit of ribbon. Let's just do this. I'm just going to cut them off at an angle. And we might just pop this one in underneath. There we go. So not a bad little project in the end. I quite like how that turned out. I'm quite happy with that. This one just doesn't fit in the envelope, so. All right, guys, let me know what you think. I'm glad I stuck with it and had a play. I'm really happy with what I ended up with. So now I've got a little bit of inspiration. I might go and make some more stuff. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Sorry about the noise in the background. I hope it wasn't too distracting. And until next time, I hope you get a little bit of creative time in. Take care. Bye-bye.